Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we are going to be having a look at the Hunter character from Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Now, I've actually had this figure for quite a while, and I've got to say, in the packaging, I think the figure looks quite good. However, what I would say, what is a little bit frustrating with this, I've actually happened to really enjoy the whole of the sort of second series of The Bad Batch, and this is the first figure that we've actually had from those, from the Bad Batch themselves, or Clone Force 99. And the real, I suppose, shame of that for me is the actual first series of the Bad Batch, certainly in the UK, was released on the 4th of May, 2021. So over 2 years ago, and this is the first figure that we've actually got from the Bad Batch in terms of the Clone Force 99. Now, I know the Black Series have had numerous versions. They've had all of Clone Force 99, and I believe, I'm not a massive Black Series collector on the 6-inch line, but I believe also that they've had, I think, like the sort of the change of costume, if you want to class it as that, from the second series. So, it's a real shame that when they've released this figure, that they just simply haven't given you the other characters from Clone Force 99. That is the one thing I would say, and I'm not trying to gripe on that, but I just wanted to sort of make that, plainly clear. This is over 2 years ago that this was released. And this is the only figure from Clone Force 99 that we've got. Anyway, that little rant over. Onto the card. The card back, I think, is actually pretty good. I think they've, the image, you could argue they possibly could have taken a slightly better image of Hunter, but I think it does quite a nice job. You've got that Kenner logo down there in the bottom right-hand corner, the warning on the top right as you look at it, and the 4+ age group on the top left. The actual name pill is in I'd like to class it as a lime green. I'm not really sure that this video is going to do that justice. And that is also that lime green behind the figure. So if you're a carded collector, because of the nature of the sort of the colours of the character, being that sort of grey and almost that sort of maroon red, if you want to class it as that, it does look good within the actual bubble itself. And the other thing that I would say with that is, unfortunately, this probably isn't going to show it this video, but the actual card, even though it's on that sort of thicker card stock, has come sort of slightly warped. And this is an issue that I think is sort of becoming more and more, not obvious, that's the wrong thing to say, but it's happening more and more, because I think, that they are sending them to certainly the UK suppliers, in just slightly tighter shipping cases than they should be, which is a real shame, because at the end of the day, we've sort of gone on and on about getting these on a thicker cardstock. That's great, and that really should eliminate any issue. All they need to do is put these in slightly bigger boxes. Now, I apologise if that feels I'm sort of having a little bit of a major rant, because I'm not. I actually really like this card back, and at the end of the day, this figure's coming out of the packaging anyway. So let's have a look at the back of the packaging itself. Not too much to report on here. This is obviously VC268. You've got the other figures that are part of this wave. So you've got Cassian Andor, the Aldhani mission, the Phase 2 Clone Trooper, Admiral Piat, Cassian Andor, Vel Sartha, Cal Kestis, and the re-released Star figure. You've got the nice racetrack on the top and that legal information on the bottom. So VC268. We just have one final look at the front of the card again, and then get this figure out of the packaging. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can put this, even if your sort of figures do come a little bit warped, depending on where the warp is. My bend is just slightly in the middle, so it's not really going to show in this video. But if you were to put them a heavy book on it or something, you'll probably be able to, for a period of time, that you'll probably be able to get that out. Or putting them in a star case will do the job itself as well. But anyway, let's get this figure out of the packaging and take a look. Okay, so this is, as you can see, figure out of the packaging. Stupid thing to say, sorry about that. And I've got to say, first impressions, it does look good. It's very difficult for them to sort of get, I suppose, not necessarily the head sculpt right, because the Bad Batch is a completely animated series. I know on sort of certain clones they are sort of doing more of the sort of photo real face tech, but because we haven't really seen Bad Batch yet really in any sort of live series, they've got to go with that sort of head sculpt of Hunter from the animated series, and just sort of bringing it into focus for you. I think they've done a pretty good job on this overall. It certainly resembles the actual character from the series and looks pretty decent. It's, I'm not going to say it's the sort of sorry, I'm not going to say it's the sort of the phase 2 clone armor, but because it isn't, it is obviously slightly different, but they have actually made this character look pretty good. He looks nice and chunky. Again, it does certainly look that, he's got that look that you can see that the actual armor on top of the figure, there could more than plausibly be a figure inside, which is really, really nice. In terms of the actual articulation, this is a great example of everything that they're doing in the modern line. So you've got, full articulation at the head, full articulation at the shoulders. The shoulder pads are a very sort of soft plastic, so they lift up nice and easily, as you can see there. I'm not going to get him to stand. Articulation at the elbows, at the wrists with a hinge in the wrist. The swivel is just in the chest on a ball, so obviously you can move it up and down as well as, sorry, not up and down, but, you can have that sort of slight stomach crunch, and it does come with those butterfly hinges. So again, you can get this figure in some great poses. Articulation at the knees and with the rocker ankles. So really, really good. From the back, again, if I can actually get him to stand on this table. It's quite plain, the armour. There's not a lot that they can do with it. It is sort of quite just plain grey, mainly on the back. You do obviously have these red pieces on the armour that you can see on the shoulder there. And some sort of form of skull insignia on his right shoulder. Is that removable? Don't think that is, but I should have checked that really before the video. No, that isn't. But overall, it's I think that's a pretty decent interpretation of Hunter from the Clone Wars, and certainly from obviously the Bad Batch series. So really nice looking figure itself. In terms of the accessories that you do get with it, it comes with 2 blasters. You get that sort of, I'd class that more as a sort of a mid-range blaster, sort of mid-range heavy blaster. That's quite impressive. A really, really tiny pistol, which is just, again, a sort of a quite plainy grey. He does come with this knife, which is quite a nice touch. A backpack. And his helmet. So we need to sort of see what he looks like with that on, because I have heard that some people sort of say that the helmet can appear a little bit oversized when on. But okay, so quite a decent number of accessories with it, and I think the figure does look really, really nice. So the real shame here is that we just do not have the other members of Clone Force 99. Anyway, let's get the helmet and the accessories on, and we'll have a final look at the figure. Okay, so what I've done is I've just put that sort of mid-range blaster in. And the one thing that I didn't realise, I don't know why I didn't realise, that actual piece that I was trying to sort of see if that was removable on his left arm is actually for the knife. If I can bring that in, if you can see that. So that is, it's actually quite a nice touch. And I've got to say, overall, this, I'm not too worried about that head sculpt. Whoops, sorry. Try and get him back up. I think that's not the head sculpt. I mean, just like with the way that the helmet is. A very shallow peg holes, almost non-existent, which is why I'm trying to get him to, or I'm messing about trying to get him to stand like that. So there we go. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I actually think this is a pretty good figure. A really nice. I think they've actually done a pretty good job on that. I'm quite pleased with that one. As I said, the only issue I have is that having released this in the UK in terms of the Bad Batch, the series, on the 4th of May 2021, we desperately need all of these other figures from you know, from the series. It's such a shame. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe, please do. There'll be more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions, any comments on the figure, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.